Hi guys, Colleen here, back with another video, and you can tell by the title this is what the fuck. Hi guys, Colleen here, back with another video. As you can tell by the title, this is the long-awaited foundation collection and a little review on each one. I would like to start this video off with a couple disclaimers, because if it's one thing I have realized is that people tend to get a bit touchy when it comes to people talking and reviewing makeup, especially makeup that that they particularly love or like or whatever, and people tend to get offended by this. So this review is in no way to offend anybody who likes a particular brand of foundation. I mean, what works for you works for you, what works for me works for me. We are different people, we have different chemistries and makeups. Climate is different, all those things different. A lot of factors come into play, so what may work for you may not work for me, and vice versa. What may work for me may not work for you. And I mean, I could basically understand and respect that, and I hope that when you do see and view this video, that you can also respect that too, and just take it for basically my opinions and thoughts on foundations that I have used, and over quite a bit of time too. So basically, that is the first disclaimer that I need to state, before even going full throttle with this. The second one is that the foundations that I speak of are relevant for someone with a shade reference of a MAC NC45. That tends to be the universal brand MAC. So just bear in mind that the foundations that I speak of here are equivalent to MAC NC45. So for those who want to hear the shade references, pull out your pen and paper. For those who want to hear about the performance of the foundations, how long they last, you could also take notes as well. Also, another reference I need to make: I have very oily skin. I live in the tropics near the equator, so oils and humidity and heat is a serious thing for me. So for me, when I am looking at a foundation, I want the foundation to stay on my face and not melt down my clothes. So just saying, right? So let me just get on to the actual review now, right? So get pen, paper, a beverage, a little snack, because it's going to be a while, right? So stick to it. So I'm gonna start with this. I have oily skin, NC45 in MAC, right? So that means I have a somewhat strong yellow undertone to me. I burn very easily, so my color tends to fluctuate a lot. I try to match my face to my neck and my shoulders, so I do not like that ghost face look. So I'm gonna break up this foundation so that it could have more of a mass appeal. So the first section of this video will be the drugstore foundations. The latter half will be the more high-end, more expensive foundations. Now, I just want to say that when you are shopping for a foundation, try to match it to your jawline and let it match your neck and your shoulders, right? You don't want to match it exact to your face, because what I've noticed a lot of times, and you would see it a lot on YouTube, people's faces tend to be lighter than the rest of the body, whether it be that they self-tan or even that, I don't know, I guess because they put more emphasis on the face, like exfoliating and stuff. Sometimes it's lighter, and then there are cases where sometimes your face is darker than your body. So always try to match your face to your body, whatever shade your body is. I know, like, department store lighting kind of messes up, you know, what you may think is your right shade. Just go out in the sun and check, and always walk with a good friend, an honest friend who can tell you, homegirl, that ain't looking cute, so you're looking like a ghost face killer. Alright, so let's get on to this collection, and it's quite a big collection. I was talking to my friend Deidre earlier this week, and she was mentioning that one of her friends, they were like super excited, and they were like, oh, does Colleen have like 10 foundations? And she's like, no. And I need to warn you, I don't. This is one container. This is another container. This is another container. This is another container. And this is the last container. So 5 containers of foundation. Let me just start off. I did a review I posted in the beauty chat room, so just type in foundation review in the search bar in the group. Hopefully it does come up, or even my name. A post should come up on that, my name and foundation. That will help a lot. So I will be referring back to like some of my notes on it. So I'm gonna start with like the drugstore stuff, right? So let's start off with drugstore. This is L'Oreal True Match, and we all know this bottle, we see it a lot in the drugstore. This is easily accessible in a lot of drugstores, Pennywise and whatnot. Now I am in the shade Classic Tan, that is N7, right? Now the finish on this, as I mentioned, is a satin finish, so it's not quite matte and it's not quite dewy, right? What I like about this brand is the fact that it is very woman of color friendly, so it really lives up to the name of True Match, right? I mean, you don't see that level of in-depth and detailed shade range, right? So I know, like, when I now started out in makeup and I really couldn't afford, like, you know, to splurge at the time because, you know, I was on a budget, this was my go-to. I believe these are like 80 TT. I may be mistaken, it may have gone up, or I don't know. My only gripe about this foundation is the fact that you have to pour this out, and this could get very, very messy. In terms of the performance, I mean, this is 1 fluid ounce. You know, this could, if you wear this every day, could last you a month or 2. The coverage is sheer to medium, but buildable. It's not full coverage. You rarely find full coverage drugstore foundations, you know, that you really don't find them. When you do, it's like, you know, grab it if you need full coverage. For oily girl, this is trouble. This tends to like break down and you see shine after, I would say, 2-3 hours, especially in the T-zone area. So for me, because I was on a budget, of course I had to hit this up with a lot of translucent powder to keep it matte. But I guess for someone with drier skin, this may actually be a charm, work like a charm. So, but the shade range in terms of drugstore, this is the bomb.com, because you're not going to get as many shade selections in this brand and in this particular line. So, you know, I mean, it was okay for me. Maybelline Better Stay foundation. I am in the shade, where are you, 90 Warm Honey, right? This one is, in terms of performance, this is also a shade to medium coverage, dewy, not dewy, but satiny finish. It's not matte, it's certainly not matte. This does not hold up for very long. I think after an hour or two I start seeing oils and stuff like that. I mean, the shade selection is pretty cool. You know, I think someone with drier skin might prefer this than someone with oily skin. The only cool thing about this is it has a pump, and you really don't find many drugstore brands with a pump per se, right? I'll make sure to list all the brands and the shades in the description bar below if you're interested in any of them, any of the foundations I've featured, right? So this is Better, Maybelline Better Color Super Stay Better Skin. Mouthful, right? One of the better ones that I have tried is the Revlon Color Stay. This one is very good for somebody with oily skin. I have used this, and this has held up for a good 4 or 5 hours without me having to do any touch-ups. This is really good. I understand now they have brought out ones with pumps. This is an older one that I'm trying to use up, you know. I am using the shade 400 Caramel, and this is for the oily skin. I know there is a separate one for people with dry skin, but this is for the oily skin. This is a little too dark for me, and what I do, I tend to use an even brighter highlighter to brighten up the face and blend it out, and it's able to match me pretty well. If I go down a shade, that will just look too ashy on me, and then it ain't cute, because I'm gonna look like a ghost face killer. No, not cute at all. But for someone on a budget, they have oily skin and they're looking for something that can actually perform, I would probably tell them to look into this one, because this is like 80 or 90 TT. This is not a budget busting foundation, you know. And I find the coverage is pretty good. It's medium buildable, you know. You could get a full coverage look by just adding on layers of this, you know, buffing it in the skin properly. But this is particularly good. I mean, it's really good, right? Okay, another one, Maybelline Fit Me foundation. Again, this has the screw top. You rarely find them with pumps, drugstore foundations with pumps. I'm in the shade 330. I think this is Toffee Caramel. Now, I know my shade pretty well. Anything with Toffee and Caramel, yeah, we're gonna look at you, because chances are you may match me, you know. So this does not hold up very well to the oils. I mean, it matches me very well, you know. It does live up to the name of Fit Me foundation. Oh baby, I love you too. Yeah, so you know, this is really good in terms of the matching, but in terms of the performance, this is good for like a grocery run, a short grocery run. But to say you want to go downtown, put a Spain and shop for like 3 hours in the hot sun, no, girlfriend, do not. You're gonna look like a hot mess. Like seriously, a hot mess. Alright. Okay, the next one I have is the Milani Conceal Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. I got these in 3 shades. I got shade 9, which matches me. Hold on, if I could get it out. I got shade 10. Shade 9 is tan. Shade 10 is golden tan, which I find is a little too yellow for me. I look like if I suffer from jaundice when I wear this. And the other one is 11 Amber. I find the amber matches me the best when I am rocking like a tan. Alright, like after coming back from the beach and I'm a little toasty looking. This one matches me. The 9 tan works well if I've been hiding out in an air-conditioned office for like weeks on end and I start looking a little bit on the pasty side. But the 10, which I find is the in-between shade, is just too yellow for me. What can I say about this brand? Now, I did a review on this, well, not really a review, I did speak on this in an earlier video, and I said it's good in terms of a good budget friendly foundation. It has an interesting smell. I mean, if you don't like the smell, I could understand. It might be a little nauseating. It does come with a pump, which is a plus for me, but my thing is, this does not sit on my skin very well. And I mean, I tried working it a good few times. There was one time it worked really well, but then afterwards it started doing some weird stuff on my nose, and then it was just epic failure. So I mean, this might work better on someone with drier skin or combo skin, but somebody with oilier skin may have some difficulties in trying to work it so it doesn't, you know, separate. It just sits on the skin and it does not look pretty flattering from close up. I could probably wear it and film from afar and it looks good, but then, you know, I mean, you see me close up and it's like, no. Now, the best drugstore foundation for oily skin that I have tried, that's a matte and very close to like full coverage, is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. I mean, it does live up to the name of being matte. It's not like cardboard matte, but it keeps you from looking like a hot greasy mess. I am in the shade 110 Creme Cafe. This could last me whole day. As a matter of fact, I can tell you this has lasted me for an entire day. I remember going to meet a client in Tobago and had absolutely no time to touch up makeup, and when I got back into the office, and this is after being in Tobago from 8 in the morning to like 3 in the afternoon and then being on the road, this could actually run with the big dogs in the more high-end luxury, you know, foundations. Alright, I see you, boo, I see you. Yeah, so this is one I'd highly recommend. I mean, it has all the great components. It's budget friendly. The colors, you can get your color matched, you know, especially for women of color. For oily skin girls, this is a dream come true, and it lasts long. So I mean, and I did recently get the Glow. This is the sister to the matte, and this one is a very dewy finish. I use the shade, what shade this is? Oh, 211 Creme Coffee. Yeah. I like the dewiness, but I realize like with this I can't necessarily highlight because it is dewy, because if I do highlight I would look crazy. So just be mindful of that. I think this is more geared for like dry skin girls, so dry skin girls, you could probably take a look at this. But it's pretty good, it's pretty good. I've used it. I haven't used it for long, so I can't give like a full in-depth review, but it's certainly worth, you know, taking a look at, you know. I'm not gonna knock it, no, but you know, it has, you know, it has its redeeming qualities to it, right? So those are like all my drugstore. So I'm gonna deal with the more high-end foundations now. Let me just deal with the tubes first, and then we'll make our way to the cream and then the liquid in the bottles, right? So, oh, I do have a couple lower end ones. Oh, silly me, they were hiding at the bottom. Now these are truly budget friendly, and these are quite good, alright? And I highly recommend that if you see it and you get your shade, get it, girl, get it. And these are the Giordano Complete Cover Maximum Coverage 2-in-1 Concealer and Foundation. Now I have two shades. I got one from a swap buddy, and this is Golden Olive 8, and it kind of works when I am a little on the pasty side, because it does not have a very strong yellow undertone. It's actually quite neutral, whereas I have 10 Toffee, which has a very strong yellow undertone to it. Now the great thing about this, now it comes from the Milani brand. It is the sister of Milani, is a cheaper version. These cost $36 TT in Wonderful World. I repeat, these cost $36 in Wonderful World, and these could hold up a decent 4 hours before you need to touch up. I'm just saying. So if you really want to like find that budget friendly foundation and you can get your shade, try the Giordano. You would not be disappointed. I've been pleasantly surprised, and I like where I could find a drugstore gem that is really a gem, because I mean, you have to be mindful of your pennies, you know. Can't be like throwing it all away on things that don't work. And I have some foundations in here that I will talk about that have not worked for me for one reason or another. I will mention it, you know. I mean, you're not gonna hear me say, oh, I love it, it's wonderful, it's great. No, I'm gonna tell you, if it didn't work for me, it's because I really tried and it just So we're now going to get into the more high-end ones. Let me deal with the tubes first. Alright, the first one is the Tarte 12-Hour Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. I am using the shade Deep Sand. This is a little too dark for me, so I have to like lighten it up with a light concealer to when I'm highlighting, and I just use the foundation parts, especially on the cheeks, as my natural contour. I'm not in love with this foundation for a lot of reasons. First of all, it's too thick, so it's very hard to like work into the skin. I find it sits on the skin, you know, a little too much. In terms of the coverage, it is very full coverage. They lie when they say it is full coverage, right? Let me see what I would have said in my review in terms of the finish, because this is like hella full coverage. I don't think I mentioned it. Did I get it at the time I reviewed? I wonder. I'm not seeing it here. Oh, okay. This is probably pre-review. Now this one, it has a kind of semi-satin finish, semi-matte. This one, I feel as if Tarte does not necessarily know how to cater for people of color. So in terms of the color selection, for anybody, I would say from an NC40 go down the line, they have difficulties. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend you running out and purchasing this, because this is expensive. I think this is like 30 or 40 US. So just be mindful of that, you know, in terms of, you know, purchasing. I don't go for this. I have to use this up, but this is not my go-to foundation. Alright. The next one, actually it's two, because I have to mix them to get my shade. It is the Becca Radiant Satin, right? And I have the shade Bamboo and Tobacco here, and I have to mix these two to get my perfect shade, right? And these cost me $5 off of eBay. They were like selling like hotcakes. What can I say about this foundation? It has a dewy finish. It does live up to the name of satin. There are some components of it I like and some I don't. I don't like the fact that I have to mix to get my correct shade in this particular line. I find that, you know, Becca, which is a very woman of color friendly, you know, line, you know, need to like kind of fix some of, you know, the little nuances in the shades and stuff like that. These kind of last me, I would say, about 4 hours or so, depending on the conditions, the climatic conditions I am in. I wouldn't say these are my go-to, but I will use them up. I would probably use these, like, you know, if I want to go to a nice dinner and it's gonna take probably 3 hours to go through and my face still looking beat. Yeah, that is the only way I would probably like rock these, you know. So, but I wouldn't necessarily say to rock them, you know, downtown Port Spain in the heat. You would look like a hot mess after a while. Like, that shit ain't cute. That shit ain't cute. The next one I bought is this NARS Velvet Matte Skin Tint in the shade Malaga, or medium dark one. I love NARS. Let me just start by saying I love NARS. I love NARS, but this, I don't know, for some reason like they fell down in this here, because the shade, now this is not a skin tint, this is a full coverage foundation. Do not be fooled. What I don't like about this is the fact that this is very orange on my skin, and this is just an epic fail based on that. I look like a Oompa Loompa when I put this on, so I do not draw for this whatsoever. It's quite unfortunate, you know. It's 1.7 fluid ounces of product, and it's more or less full. I probably use this like 2 or 3 times, you know, and it's just too orange for me. This is too orange. So if you're gonna get this, just be mindful of that. In terms of performance, it does not perform as well as its other foundation lines in the NARS brand, which is quite unfortunate because NARS is pretty up there for me in terms of quality foundations, you know, so I don't know what to say. This is Cover FX cream foundation, and I'm in the shade N70. This is my only cream foundation, and you would think as an oily skin girl, why would you dare wear cream? But I like to tell you, this is full coverage. Once you set this properly, and I set this with the Laura Mercier loose translucent powder, this could last you whole flipping day. As a matter of fact, the first time I wore this would have been at work. I forgot my makeup bag, and I was like terrified because I was using this for the first time and I didn't know what to expect. And this lasts me 12 hours without me touching up anything. I mean, I didn't even have a powder to pat my nose, and my face looked beat. And I need to get another one of these because I like to tell you, I have hit pan. I paid $2.20 for this in Starlight Maraval. I have to go back and get another one. It's like no ifs, ands, or buts. I have to go back and get another one. I think I'm missing a foundation, so I may have to pause this video at some point. Okay, these 2, 3, 4 foundations that I'm going to talk about, these are foundations that I absolutely hate for one reason or another, and we'll just get into it. The first one being the Benefit Hello Flawless Oxygen Wow Oil Free blah blah blah. This is a long flipping name, as you can tell, and I'm in the shade Hot Amber, something like that. Hot Amber. This is not an oily girl's friend. I put this on and it was an epic fail. Like, epic fail. This is bullshit in a bottle. I kid you not. This may quicker work for somebody with dry skin, but even self, I wouldn't even recommend this for someone with dry skin, because then it might look even worse, right? This sits on the skin like a mask. It just looks horrendous. It's just this thick, gooey paste. I don't even know why I still have this in my makeup collection, other than for the purposes of a review. I would probably throw this out pretty soon because this serves absolutely no purpose in my life. I mean, no. It's terrible. The next one, I wanted to love this. I really want. Right, so memory card ran out of space. What's new? Talking too much, right? So the foundation I was talking about is the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. The shade matched me pretty well. I am in the shade medium 64. It has this nozzle here, you know, to, I guess, protect it from being contaminated. What I did not like about this foundation is the consistency of it. It's just too thick, and because it's too thick, it looked like if I was wearing a ghostly, not a ghostly mask, but a mask, because it matched me pretty well, which is interesting because I know a lot of people had difficulties. A lot of people who are deeper tone had problems getting, you know, the right shade for this, you know. This one will have to be one that I use at night time, because during the day, this, even though it holds up for like probably, I say 3-4 hours, after a while it just looks too cakey to be worn in the day. This had to be in the night time, you know, some kind of event or something where you have to look ultra glam, but I mean, I use this, but this is not my go-to, right? So I mean, I'll use it out, but would I repurchase this? No, not really, because it's just too cakey. I don't like feeling my foundation. I hate feeling foundation on my skin. I want to feel as if I'm wearing nothing. Okay, the next one I got is the Too Faced Amazing Face Foundation. This is in the shade Cocoa Beige. This matches me pretty well. What I hate about it is because it's so expensive, it should come with a pump, right? But I didn't buy it at full price. I think I got this when they had a sale, and I paid $15 US for this, which is about the price of a drugstore foundation. In terms of the coverage, this is medium buildable. A kind of satin finish. They say it's oil free, but this does not hold up to the oils as well as you would think they would. This could last me like 3, maybe 4 hours in AC, but after that it's just unfortunate. After that it's just unfortunate. So I will not be repurchasing that. I'm kind of happy I got it on sale. No. The next one is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and I got the shade Caramel. I find this is a tad too light for me. I mean, it fits me exact, but there is a discrepancy with, you know, I don't know, it just has this weird undertone to it. Maybe it's not too light, not that it's too light, it just has the weirdest undertone, and for some reason my pump thing is a little shaky. I hardly use this. Yes, it sounds bad, but I will use this up. But this one, the shade matches better than this one, even though looking at it in the bottle, it's strange. This oxidizes better than this, and this has a strange undertone. It almost makes me look dead, like gray dead. I don't know, I may try like the next shade up, which I think is Mocha, but I think Mocha might be a little too dark for me. I'll probably test it out in the next time I go Sephora, which will be in October, you know, but I don't think I might necessarily repurchase them on the basis of the performance of it. I don't find for something that costs that much, it's living up to the hype it was getting like late last year. It's not living up to the hype. Now the ones, and this is the last one, I have mixed feelings about this. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation, Weightless Ultra Definition Liquid Foundation. Now this foundation, my friend Deidre, I recommend it to her. She absolutely hates it. Like she said, she has tried working it all different ways. She absolutely hates it. I have mixed feelings about this because, well, I guess it's more so the brand, because the concealer is like the shit. Their concealer is like a godsend. It's like, oh my god. So you're thinking the foundation is gonna be oh my god too, because it's like, you really, you know, you're not reinventing the wheel here now, come on. Now I got the shade 08, which matches me very well, even though it looks very dark in the bottom. But when it comes out in the pump, it comes out pretty much spot on. This is very weightless. I like to tell you it's weightless. I have to like put extra primer on the nose area so that this stays put. Everywhere else on my face is like bomb.com, but my nose is trouble area, and somehow like the oils really lick up this foundation when it comes to the nose area. I don't know. I mean, this lasts me like 5 hours of continuous wear before I really need to like touch it up. But I mean, for the price it's calling compared to the other high-end counterparts, it really does not live up to, you know, the expectation I had. And this will be coming off of the Milani Concealer, which I love. I love it. It's like my ride or die. Serious. I love it. But, you know, I mean, will I repurchase this? I don't know. I know there is an all-nighter Urban Decay, which I am considering. But I'm skeptical, and that is coming off of my experiences with this one. I'll probably ask for a sample and then try it out. You know, for the days that I'm in the States, and then depending on, you know, how it looks up, how it goes up, then I might get it. But it's mixed reviews on this, and this is not matte. This is like a semi-satin, semi-matte finish. Alright. Now, the rest of the foundations that I'm going to speak of here, I love it. There's a lot of redeeming qualities about these foundations that I'm going to speak about here. So, you're going to hear a lot of great, fabulous, all those adjectives, all those, you know. Just bear with me and understand it, because I'm head over heels in love with these foundations. Starting off with Lancome Tint Idole 24-hour makeup. Now, I'm skeptical about any foundation that says it's 24 hours. That's a bunch of fuckery. I'm sorry, pardon my French, but you really don't want to have makeup on your skin for a whole flipping day. I'm sorry. No, you want your skin to breathe. But this feels like nothing on your face. I mean, the first time I wore this, I wore it with the wrong primer and it just looked like BS. But then I said, you know what, let me try it with this primer, because, you know, we'll give it a chance. And I love it. I love it, and I was able to turn my friend Deidre onto it, and now she loves it, and she's Miss Picky when it comes to foundation, and rightfully so. But homegirl is like, hey, I had to get one of those. It's thebomb.com. It makes you look flawless. As a matter of fact, that's what I have on my skin right now, and I had this on since 2 o'clock this afternoon, and it's 13 past 12 in the night. Wee early morning. Yeah, this has been going for a full 10 hours without fail, folks, without fail. And the shade that I am in is 450 Suede N. And this matches me perfectly. Like, there is no doubt about it. Alright. The next foundation that I'm gonna talk about is the NARS Sheer Glow. Now, this is an OG one. I'm in the shade Cadiz. I love this. This is not sheer by no means, no stretch of the imagination. This could be very full, but it gives you a nice natural skin-like finish. Not satiny, not dewy, but very skin-like. Now, my only gripe about this, as you can tell, is the fact that there is no flipping pump. Scratch that. It doesn't come with a pump. You have to buy a pump separately. And Colleen is like, not the fuck of that. No. For how much I paid for you, brother, you need to come with a pump. So I refuse to buy a pump. but I love this foundation. This is such a lovely foundation, and on oily skin, this is such a very oily girl friendly foundation. I mean, don't get discouraged by the name Sheer or Glow and you're thinking, nah, I'm gonna look like a hot mess. No, you're not gonna look like a hot mess. And the next NARS that I am absolutely in love with, without a shadow of a doubt, which I have repurchased this like 3 times already, have to repurchase this again and stock up, is the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. Yes, it's a mouthful, but it lives up to its name, and it's worth every single letter and every single penny. I'm in the shade Cades. This, my friends, if you need to get one foundation in your life, you have oily skin, you work long hours, you're in the heat and the humidity, this is your best friend. This is my work foundation. Like, I wear this to work all the time, and people are just like taken aback at how flawless the finish is and how immaculate I look at the end of the day. I like to tell you, when I wear this, I have no cause to touch up for nothing. Serious. I know some people like, no, it ain't work for them, da 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 da. Again, these are my opinions, this is my experience. This has not steered me wrong at all. And I will buy this until they stop making this. That's to tell you how much I love this foundation. And hallelujah, it comes with a pump. Because I had some friends who were screwing top off and saying, but I had to pour this out on waist. And I'm like, home girl. Comes with a pump. Pull the cap off. Just saying. Love it. Next one that I absolutely love. Oh my god. And I'm sorry I did not get the regular HD foundation. Is the Makeup Forever HD, Ultra HD. And I am in the shade 173 equals to Y445. I believe that's amber. This is very lightly touched, and this could actually give NARS a run for its money. Alright, the only thing that I prefer the NARS over this is that the NARS has a nice, strong but subtle yellow undertone, so it matches me perfectly. The Makeup Forever is a little more on the neutral side, so I don't get the nice bright glowiness that I do with the NARS. But this is like the bomb.com. I like to tell you. This one, this is another good one you could probably look into investing in, because Makeup Forever is a pretty good brand, you know. So, you know, if you're looking for a first, you know, high-end foundation to look at, Makeup Forever makes a good shade color. Start over. Makeup Forever makes a good shade selection. Just mind you that in terms of the undertones, they are not as strong in the yellows as the NARS is. NARS, I find, is pretty spot on in terms of color matching women of color. Well, in terms of, for me, I mean, I have seen other people match and got beautifully matched as well. You know, friends with deeper and lighter than my tone, and it looks and feels like real skin. I mean, can you tell I have on foundation? No, this is, you know, these two that I speak of are my most expensive foundations, and I love them to death. I have repurchased the two of them. These are not for the faint-hearted. There are a couple gripes about them that I will talk about briefly just to cap off this video, because I know it's extremely long and I want to just thank you before I even finish for sticking through this for, you know, this long, because there's a lot of foundations I spoke about here. It's a lot, you know. Now, I saw somebody in the beauty chat room put up a post as it relates to this particular brand, and they are correct. This is the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Full Cover Foundation, and this is in the shade Light Cocoa. Now, this brand of foundation is by far not woman of color friendly at all. I mean, there's this infamous Instagram post where they laid out all the shades in this particular line, and I think there were only 3 that looked somewhat like, you know, for brown girls, and there were only 3 shades, you know, which is ridiculous because there are many versions of caramel, toffees, chocolates, dark cocoas, and all that in between, Moby, all of that, and 3 shades can't begin to like cover, you know, that. But I mean, let's be honest, there isn't much of a market. There is a market, but the market for women of color is not as big as, you know, the market for the vanilla babies. I mean, I'm keeping it real here. People can get vexed and say, oh, that's not true, but you know, I mean, it's between that, the market, and then the fact that I guess they can't begin to understand the nuances of brown skin, black skin. It's just too complicated, too complex. But again, you know, to go in depth, to highly specialize what is the market for a highly specialized color like that, you know what I mean? That's why I kind of like, I give kudos to like Anastasia for trying, but they don't have it quite right, because I did test out the foundation sticks and it's no bueno, no bueno. So let me get back, because I have digressed a lot. Let's talk about this. This lasts me 10 to 12 hours without fail. Not a foundation out of place. It's a little too dark for me, but again, I'm able to lighten it up with concealers and stuff, and use the foundation as a natural contour shade. This is a concentrate. The first bottle of this lasted me 9 months. This, I'm sure, will last me another 9 months. It's brand new. It's not a pump, it's a medicine dropper. That's the only thing I don't like about this. But again, it's a concentrate. I just simply dab like four spots on my face, and it's able to cover my entire face. So if this finishes out in 3 months for you, you need a lash. I'm just saying, this lasts very long. This, if you wear this every day, this could last you 6 months with ease. If this finishes out in 3 months for you, like I said, you need a lash. But in terms of performance, this flicking performs. I wore this foundation all throughout my Tobago vlog, and I mean, I hit water, seawater, sun, all kinds of things, and this bad boy held up. And this retails for $55 US. It's very expensive. It's an investment, but I always say I would rather splurge on a high-end foundation and have my skin looking flawless and just hit it with a cheap lipstick, a cheap mascara, cheap lashes. Oh, these lashes I got from Wendy Hamilton. These are the lashes I'm wearing right now from Wendy Hamilton when I bought the Juvia's second palette, and I decided to try them out, and I particularly like them very much. They're not like dramatic, but they do add some flair to what is already there. I mean, you can't even tell that these aren't my lashes. They actually look very much like my lashes, you know, just saying. So I love this foundation. I will again continue to repurchase that. Again, it's an investment. Not saying that you have to go out and get it. You just get one that works for you and stick to it. And I like to switch it up depending on the occasion, and then sometimes too my skin chemistry changes certain times of the year, certain times of the month when Aunt Flo is in town, you know, and my skin isn't cooperating. So I just mix my magic potions and lotions and they work for me, you know. That's just me, my personal, you know, thing. I'm not an authority, and I mean, you don't have to follow what I say. You just do what works for you at the end of the day. My last foundation I'm going to talk about is the reason why I kind of held off from doing this foundation review and collection, because I ran out, and rightfully so, because I love this foundation. This foundation makes me look like a porcelain doll. Like, this foundation makes me look 15 years younger. I like to tell you, I just look fresh face and just glowy and flawless. And this is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I'm in the shade 9, not 8. NC45. I don't know who NC45 could wear 8. I'm sorry. This is the shade I use. It's 9 and it matches me perfectly. I tested out the 8. 8 makes me look like a ghost face killer. I don't know. I see some girls saying they're NC45 and they're wearing 8. I'm like, good for you, but I can't do that. I'm sorry. Yeah. So this cost $64 US. Yes. This is a meal for 2. A meal for 2. A dinner for 2 on a date. This one foundation. Plus taxes. But this foundation, oh my god. It does have a scented. The finish on this is a satiny luminous glow. It really lives up to the name. It makes your face look like silk, smooth and just flawless. Oh my god, I love this foundation. I'd have to put it on and feature it one day in a video, just so y'all could understand my love affair with this foundation. But it is just thebomb.com. Like, I think I have swatches in the beauty chat room of all, or basically most of the foundations I spoke of here, sans a couple that I've gotten recently. So if you're a member, or if you aren't, please do go and join that group, and you can just simply go in the search bar and type up foundation swatches and stuff, and you'll see them there, you know, and you'll see the little nuances in terms of the shade differences and stuff like that. But I mean, this is my entire foundation collection. I may get more depending on what is out there and what's worth, you know, me getting. like I said, if you do have the money, I would say invest in at least just one good high-end foundation, because you really do see a difference in your makeup game when your foundation is on point, because then everything starts looking on point. Because I've seen girls with on point eyeshadow and stuff, and the foundation is like, the fuck, you know. Pardon my French, but I'm just saying, you know. And I mean, the foundation is covering most of your face, so you really want that to look like topper, you know. You want to look boss. So I mean, so I'm hoping that, you know, this foundation collection, the stuff I've mentioned, could act as a guide for people in my shade range who are looking for a foundation but they aren't sure of the shade to get. You know, I know it's very hard to purchase something online and not know if it will work for you, and especially from the Caribbean, we really can't afford to make them mistakes. Them mistakes very costly, very costly. So I really hope that, you know, my video does help shed some kind of light on that. You know, people can use it as some kind of guide moving forward. And I really hope you learned a lot from this video, you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe for more. And tell me if you want any more like makeup collection sections, like blushes. I did one on highlights a month or two ago, I can't remember how long, but it's there for you to like look at. I could do liquid lipsticks, I could do traditional lipsticks, I can do primers if you want. That might be a very good one to look into. You know, I could do the primers for you all. And anything else, I could do eyeshadow palettes, you know, and I could tell you which ones, you know, are my go-to palettes, and I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes. It is ridiculous. So let me just stop rambling at this point and just say thank you for sticking this long watching this. You guys are troopers, and until the next time, bye.